Good morning. How's everybody this morning? I hope you all well and good. I hope my show will find you have a good, healthy breakfast like I always do. Right? Eat well and don't skip your breakfast. Good breakfast will always give you a good appetite and a good workout. And a little bit also do some exercise like me. I always do stretching. But among that. Now, last night we did see a very good closing yesterday, right? How's everybody this morning? I hope. And let me just turn this off first. I hope my. Okay. So hope you all had a good morning, and we were talking about the great closing of the Dow Jones yesterday, right? Close about almost 400 points up. And despite what we have seen, the short in the number of cases that you see in Florida and California, the market continue to go up. Now, I have said this before early on, back to I think the Monday show. This was because of the good numbers that is coming out, the 4.8 job numbers that's been added in here. But there will be some news for today. Now, those of you who don't know, our breakfast show, Morning Talk with SmartRobie, and your host here, Martin Wong, will break it down for you. Now, if you have not have a copy of the SmartRobie, do download it from the Google Play Store and Apple Store and share with your friend and get free credit. Now, let's get on with the story that we have for today, and it's definitely no other than what do we have today, this morning? That's right. Now, this morning, our preoccupation with our stock market. That's right. Now, the stock market, this is on Star Business today, talks about how close that we are to what we're seeing right now. We are only actually 2% away from the old high, which is in 161. I bet you didn't know about this, isn't it? So that's why you want to watch the breakfast show, Money Talk with SmartRobie, and let me break it down for you, your host, Martin here. Now, what we have seen so far, everybody talk about the big disconnect, and we got so much job losses, and we have, our country is going to negative unemployment and so on and so forth. But why is the market going up? As I said before, many times I've answered a lot of our audience who listen to here, and the same thing I would do. There is a great disconnect, and if you go into deeply, right, there is only certain sectors that will do well. We all know about this, and we have seen how the market rally. But again, let's go back to this story, what it's all about. It's about the foreign funds selling less, and many of them are actually driven by the retailer in small and mid cap stocks. So that's like you and me. We're really buying up into the whole stock market in here. So that's what really driving this market in here. Now, let's go on to our next story, shall we? Now, next story talk about why continuation from where we left off. Now, many of you heard about this. Snap election General 15. Now, my son actually got involved in the digital parliament. That's the one that you all see on the news, right? And the police came, and he sounded to me that the snap election may come. So my son is involved in a little high school politics kind of thing that they do. But that simply tells you that we all have to be ready for that. Now, seeing from our history of 2008, that's right. That's our last election, if I'm not mistaken. How many believe a snap election is coming? Either in the earliest will be September, the latest will be November. What do you think? Let me know what you think. Type it in there. The snap election, right? Which I think should be around that. So also the stock market do explain why we are into it. But having said that, the Perikatan Nasional coming in very strong after the COVID-19. That's something that they could be boasting about it if you compare to Trump, where the numbers keep going higher and higher, but our numbers keep going lower and lower. So this is something to seen as a good handling of the economy. And right now, on a strong position, it's better for them to go out. Of course, the PN is seen as a pro-business, and it's very positive for the general market. And if they can get elected, right, for the GE15, which the snap election, there'll be a great finishing for 2020. Also in the same show, story, right, very important, I think many would know from the experience that we have in GE14, GE13 is the rotational play of the political counter right now. That's right. Now, this will take a bit pressure off from the rubber glove, which I will talk about in the next story in here. So, members, take note of the rotational play that we have in political link, which should begin right now. So we are seeing, that's why it's important for you to study those charts, look at the sign of accumulation and get in. And this is how you want to make your money. All right. So I hope you are first being foretold by Martin in our breakfast show, Money Talk with SmartRobie. Now, of course, let's go on to our next story. Now, our next story is about interest rate. This appeared on the HCO morning, and will an overnight interest rate cut be good, coming in from where the economy is? Right now, we're at 2.0. I know some of you are like grumbling. That's why you're taking money out from your fixed deposit and putting into some dividend share, which will do better. Dividend share, they have some technology, Uchitech comes into mind, all right? So that's something you guys want to think about. Look at the chart, look at the fundamental. Well, why don't we take a look at it since we are here, Uchitech, okay? Since we are here, Uchitech, hit it in there and see how is the fundamentals for Uchitech. Now, it's a Taiwanese company, you all know that, and it pays 6% dividend and a rating of 5. That's right, rating of 5. So that's pretty good. Now, the story also talk about this morning, take it out from the channel News Asia from Singapore. They talk about Bank Negara, that we were talking about this first story, that the rate cuts were likely to be end of the year. Why are they bringing it forward? But this is all speculative talks about it, just to have some sort of the news that we will cut to 1.75%. Now again, always look back. Why don't the bank cut the BLR faster than they cut our saving rates? But do take note. But the report also cover about the COVID-19 on the aspect of our economy and how we are really trying to grow somewhere between -2 and 0.5% in 2020. That is already history. So with the snap election that we talked about just now, GE15 plus the interest rate cut plus the Bursa, that actually spell for a new high. Now remember earlier on the first story we talked about, y'all remember what is the old high in there? 1618, and that was achieved on 30th of December 2019. With the talk of snap election that you're first time hearing, this story will compound by itself. When you see every newspaper, every blogs, every Facebook, it will be snap election from July. My God, we just finished COVID. Now we're going to have snap election in here. So reader, take note. This is one of the themes that we're going to go. So do take note the rotational play that we're going to talk about. All right. So at least I got you guys updated right on time. Now let's move on to our next story that we have for you. Is no other than another rubber glove, which is Kossan. Now Kossan, we all know, are really expanding. We saw Hata going higher, and what the story talks about is the expansion of Kossan. I'm sure that they got enough money in the bank after this round of huge increase in the ASP, the average selling price, on top of the cash that they have, 162 million in there, buying a piece of land with some building at the cost of 40 million is no problem, right? Because you're looking for expansion in here. So if you're looking to buy a Kossan, check it out. Use the Robie. Let's look at Robie. Okay, chart Kossan. Okay, and see where is Kossan telling us. Let's look at the chart right now here. And you can see a huge run. And do take note, there was actually already a Pentagon much earlier before. So that's what it pays dividend to have the Pentagon on your side, or at least have SmartRobie charts that you will look at it. Some of your favorite stock, make sure you put that in your watch list in here. Okay, so it pays dividend for that one. Of course, our premium alert, which I did started talking about it, the 80% win. Make sure you check out the video, but I'll give you a link afterwards so you can see those more too. So Kossan looking pretty good. Of course, if you look at the news that we have, news generally will be positive. Am I correct? Yes, it's very positive. You can see Kossan buys. So get updated on those stocks that you have with the new sentiment in there. Very important. And if you don't want to pay, just use after office hours. It's absolutely for free. But if you do use it, it's just a small no, I think news is free. Am I correct here? That's right, news is free. So right bottom there, you can see if there's no news, if there's no orange button, means it's free. So news is good, and you can see it in like there. Kossan first net profit jump, 10%. That was on May, right? Okay, so we will see probably more coming on this thing. Now let's move on to our next story that we have in here. Is no other than AirAsia, right? It's more like continuing from 2 weeks ago, where we start talking about remember 5.5 billion, the 3.3 billion, right? You all know, right? 3 3.3 billion cash inside here. Of course, now the story has sort of further translate to revenue growth, but of course revenue you do see 2.3. You know, along the news they always try to hide the bad news, but let me break it down for you here. All right, so of course if you look properly on the right hand side, you know, you have this coming down, right? Not so good, isn't it? Red color means net loss. That's right, net loss. So it was making money, it was a net loss, but if you look at nicely in this industry, it's a very competitive, very tough industry. You got the COVID, you got the fuel, and then you got all these high operating costs, you got the manpower, and then you have to deal with Malaysian airport Berhad too, right? Look at that one. So the story talks about the load factor still healthy, above 77%, but that was pre-COVID-19. Take note. Post-COVID-19, we really don't know. I would think around the 40 or 30%, even less than that. But the story carry on about a net loss of minus 803 million compared to 96 million last year. And also don't forget the losses which they talk about in the article was due to COVID-19 loss of sales, higher operating costs, and also there was hedging fuel of 110 million, because a lot of fuel companies they tend to hedge, but 110 million hedge loss relatively small if you look at the overall scheme, and 270 million loss on derivative. Now this loss on derivative is something that I need to investigate further, because is it because of the fuel that they take derivative? I would suppose it is. So you take 110, 270 million, actually it's 380 million loss. That's a fair bit of amount, but you have to see overall to the full picture that it is right now in here. Now, but there are other positive area, right? There's a positive area which means teleport logistic has increased by 49%, and also the big pay, you know, the payment which they expanded outside Malaysia in India and the southern ASEAN country has done pretty well, increased by 161%. They didn't give the figure. I would suppose it's going to be less than 50 million, and so that's why they don't. Big numbers, 3-digit million, they will normally talk about it. But at the end of it, what does it mean to you and me, both air flyer? Which means we will look for, likely, if you want for us for refund from AirAsia, tak ada punya. Am I correct? Now, would you get any refund or not? All right, those of you have any of you tried not? All right, for any refund from AirAsia? If you do, just type in there AirAsia. I really like to know whether they have given out free refund or not for that one. But the story also carry that they are seeking for what we call payment deferment and bank loan also to sustain the cash flow. We have calculated the cash flow was about 16 months, depending if you add on all the operating costs, it will definitely be less than 1 year. They don't know how long they're going to be shut down, but definitely the many airlines has so it's a lot of tremendous pressure on Tony and his team. But I think Tony will have to, you know, eventually put in some of his money into the company too, right? It is pretty much AirAsia. It's his signature, okay? The rate flying, everyone can fly. All right, let's move on to our next story. Now, next story, it's a little small cap company called Gunung. Okay, now Gunung, like it now, has been a bus company. You know, they do the bus transport. If you ever sit between the North-South Highway, I think Gunung was one of them. Let's look at Gunung too. We can check in here. Just type Gunung. Okay, which. So if you look at Gunung and we look at the fundamentals, okay, because I want to show you the website in here. This should take me to the website. Okay, there you go. It's just my fingers are sometimes a bit oily. All right. So you can see here, it's really a transport company, buses that we do. So you may ask, what are you doing with a towel company in here? So we really don't know, further investigation here, but this is something that we will see eventually news start to develop. So there's a little bit of this small thing we will pick up. Eventually when the stock price move higher, we will cover more of this story. So do take note of the stock price. So this is Gunung, but why I brought this up is because Gunung right now, stock comment and the charts, you can see right in here, charts is really accumulation. And this is what we want to teach you people, right? How to read the chart. How to, after all, trade VSA is about following the smart money, right? So this is things that we do looking at news, looking for clues that you can make money, okay? We will cover this story later. But very important is the strategic alliance, or is it a diversification for Gunung? What about from the Yi Lai side? What are they doing? So when I pick this kind of news, there must be smoke coming out. We can't see the fire yet, all right? So take note of that one. So we'll come back and explore this news later on. So let's move on to our next story that we have for you. Is no other than premium alert. That's right. Now last week, our premium alert, we have selected what? Okay, I think you all, no, not last week, yesterday. That's right. Yesterday was the 6th of July, and if you can see, yesterday 6th of July, Comfort, we selected Comfort, and also Frontken, which done very well, right? We talk about this very interesting stocks that hasn't run up yet, and finally it started to run because, you know, they're more like, you know, people rotating out from those popular big four, which is Supermax, Top Glove, right, Kossan, and Hatalega. Okay, so they're rotating out, maybe on smaller one, we don't know. But Frontken, which is technology company, is also up 6.5%, a very good one from yesterday. And that's why I tell people, right, one of the tips that you want to have very good high win rates is to buy in around 9:30 to 10:30, which I've talked about it, but I'm going to show you where to get more information on that one. So make sure you keep watching. All right, let's look at the next what we have. Let's look at the stocks that we have in mind. Comfort. Okay, let's look at here. Comfort, hit that one. And let's look at the stock price for this morning here. So stock price for Comfort, 4% up. Very nice one in here. Let's look at the trading view chart. You can see. Now, these are yesterday one. Do take note. We're going to look at something for today. Okay. So the chart's coming up right now. Okay, very nice one. You can see. Can you retest? Now, Green Pentagon appeared 3 days ago. All right. So that's why maybe it pays dividend to follow the Pentagon too. All right. Nice one done in here. Okay, let's look at the next one, which is Frontken. Type Frontken. Hit it. All right. You can see hit the stock price. And it's up 1% in here. It did touch high almost at $2.90. Okay, let's look at that. 2 ringgit, sorry, 2 ringgit and 90 cents. All right, you can see, yep, 290 in here. Forms are very nice one, but do take note. This one, it's set to pick up more because we have takeout of this, what we call uptrust. Now remember, members, takeout of the uptrust is something we talk a lot in our courses too. So it's one of those technical signals which if you trade, you have advantage. All right, let's look at our premium alert for today. Yeah, okay. Now I pick up 2 earlier on, okay, which is these 2 came up nicely. JCY and MMSV. So these are the 2 that I have. Of course, they have Pemaju, Anzo, PRB, Media, and Tawin. Even the earlier on, let me just scroll back and show you. Now remember, premium alert is different for every half an hour. So those of you who want to trade, as you can see here, PCCS, JCY, Mindtech, Anzo, PM Holding, Pan Malaysia Holding, PRG, Velesto. Okay, Icon. Remember we picked Icon last week, and some of those stocks that have done pretty well, and also KUB, which we pick a lot too, right? So let's look at the JCY 5161. Okay, 5161. Let's look at the stock price. Okay, and wow, 7% move. Okay. Don't be alarmed by the 7% move because this is just the beginning of the market move. Okay, so we want to buy something that starts to move up. If you don't want to buy something, then you look for Pentagon. Okay, Pentagon, it's like stage 1, and this one is like, poof, the thing start to move already. Now, how I'm going to show you is the next stock tips that I'm going to show you. The next slide is going to highlight that. So this is JCY. So write it down. JCY is something we're going to look at. Okay, and the other one is MMSV, which is item number 8 here, 0113. All right, let's look at stock price, and 7% move, also very nice one. Okay, let's look at the stock price in here. Now, if you don't have a copy of this, I highly recommend you to download SmartRobie. SmartRobie is for free. All right, and if you want to enjoy some privileges, there is a button there. I'm going to show you the online menu. This one looks nice too. You can see MMS picks up in here. You have Green Pentagon earlier on, and that's the one we're going to look at. All right. So, okay, what am I talking about here? This is what you go to main menu, and this is online trading in here. So if you click on the online trading, there are some free credits that you can get if you want to do this. Of course, I'll leave it up to you. Okay. Now, also, let's look at the KLCI today. Something I want to cover just before we go. Now you can see right now the market came off from old high is doing 1581. Now remember, the old high is 1618. Very easy to remember. Yellow, yafat, huh? 1618. So we are roughly about maybe 30 points, just short of 2% inside there. So when you get there, I'm going to get a lot of questions. How I can buy? Buy now lah. Don't wait until then lah. Okay. Now if you look at this, what we have seen so far with our Pentagon alert, you can see much earlier, and it already pre-warned you. So one of the things that I do is show you very early signs so you can get in early, and the reasons are price and volume. That's about it. So if you want to learn more, do come to our website, and that's the number there, 010266. We have some of our courses available that really explain the technology, the technical signal, the fundamental signal in there, all those details that you like. If not, Robie will take care of you for your very day-to-day needs. Absolutely free. Okay, so that's the two stocks that I have for you in here. And let's move on to the next part, which is, I feel that very interesting, is this 80% win rates, right? So this is the link that you can have, which pretty explain ever since I've done the YouTube. Do go ahead and watch it. Give me your comments too. And how right now, those stocks that we picked yesterday, FP Group and also the Comfort, that follows those rules, right? There is a timeline in the video, and follow another video in there which have all the rules, especially those of you who want to know the reason behind it, and the beginners one who don't want to take it up to the next level. This is the one, that video you should watch it. I highly recommend you watch it, absolutely free. It's available on YouTube. You can watch that one. All right. So don't forget, tomorrow night, it's another evening talk for the money talk again, the furniture manufacturers. Now this came because of a news was in Nanyang, saw that was during this COVID we have uptick in movement in terms of sales. So we are looking at the manufacturers, so we will look deeper what are those counters which help you to do so. Now remember, furnitures tend to be very favorable among the more laid back because it pays dividend too. It's a bit more stable, not like rubber glove. Rubber glove is disposable, isn't it? You change that, but furniture is not disposable. So take note of that one. Now, my last word for today, it's also on the HCO, which I feel that many of you who have a lot of rubber glove do take note. The story talks about the 57 billion that has been poured to the big four since March right now. Now, if you look at it, why I highlight this is because a lot of those consensus, target profit, fundamental target profit, which was brought out, right? $21. Remember last Wednesday, $21, which was highlighted by the analyst from UOB Kay Hiang, is already hit. Oh, not yet. Still another 6% in here. But the others like Hatta Lega, all this already been hit and overachieved. So just be careful as you go in. If you do buy very short term, go in and out, or do the rotational play. Some of the stocks we talk about, if you have made enough profit on the rubber, move on. Look at something else. Something got to do with the snap election. We will look at those stocks as we come in. All right. I look for your comments. Okay, going forward, and all those rotational plays on snap election and so forth. Now, if you don't have a copy of SmartRobie, do take note. But rubber glove, do take note, right? It's very high. Don't say I didn't tell you so. All right. So that's all I have for today in our morning talk show. Do share this video if you feel that information that we provided will be helpful for your friends, of your colleague. I really appreciate. That's the only thing you can do. And also join part of our 4,000 Telegram follower if you are not done so, and you get news updated very fast and very soon. All right. So that's all I have for you for the morning talk. If not, I'll see you tomorrow again. Have a good day for the rest, and enjoy your session with us, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.